Hey, what's going on? This is Edwin Vereen from WOBL, WDLW Sports, I-90 Sports, and the Sports Bros Podcast. And you're listening to Tapped In with Tony.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tapped In with Tony. I am your host, Tony Bogan. Tonight with me is the man behind the idea of Positivity Runs the World, Joseph Simonetti. Joseph, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate it.
Not a problem, man. I had noticed it seeing the stuff that you guys have posted on social media. I'm like, let me get in touch with these guys. I want to reach out to this guy and talk to him.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. It's really cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You guys have been doing a lot. I've seen a couple of the
Yeah,
mental health minute stuff that you guys been putting out.
yeah,
Yep. And
yeah. I appreciate that.
tell me a little bit about your background.
Yeah. So, I grew up here in the field area. I've always been local. I've always wanted to do something for myself. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, right? I didn't know where I was going to go. I didn't know anything about business. I have no experience in business or in clothing or anything like that. Um, so it's been all just throw it at the wall and hope it sticks, you know? Um, Positivity Runs the World was an idea that came to me going into my senior year of high school. So that was, I believe, end of 2021, middle 2021. I got my LLC in December of 21, and I kind of just ran with it. I have, like I said, no experience. Everything that I've taught myself has come from failure, right? So now I'm at a point where I'm trying to sharpen my processes and just figure out what's next, right? We've done a lot with different types of clothing and manufacturers and whatever it may be, but now we're trying to figure out how we can really make a difference, right? Positivity Runs the World was started by me by myself as a clothing brand, but the goal is to make it something that's so much more than that, right? We want to turn it into a movement, right? So we can have people be involved, like just as involved as we are, like this conversation right here, it's part of something bigger, right? You don't have a t-shirt, you don't have a hoodie from Positivity Around the World, but now that I'm able to talk to you, I'm able to impact your audience. That's the whole goal behind Positivity Around the World. That was the motivation that had me start it. It's to actually make a difference, right? I don't care about the shirts at the end of the day. I don't care about the hoodies. I don't want to care about the money. I want to care about the impact that we can have on people's lives. That's the goal.
That
So
is
that was the motivation to start it.
that's amazing, man. That's
Yeah, I
amazing.
appreciate it.
Because
Yeah,
it's not sometimes in this day and age, people are really worried about monetization. Are you making
absolutely.
money off of this thing? How much are you making?
Right.
Why does that matter? It doesn't matter about the money, it's about the value.
Right. Absolutely. And I'll be honest, it's hard to not feel that way, and I do feel that way all the time. I'm still human, I still have these thoughts where I'm like upset because a video didn't do the numbers that I thought it would, or a drop didn't do as many sales as I was hoping. We're still human at the end of the day. Everybody that's working here behind the scenes has their flaws. I have my flaws, but it's about working towards that goal. That's where the difference is that we're working towards a bigger goal. We're not there yet, but we're working towards it.
That's something I heard is you may not be where you are yet, but you further along than you were when you got started. All you have to do is keep
Absolutely.
on moving.
Absolutely.
And that's what sort of happened with me with sports videography. I didn't know a thing about it. And ironically, I started in 2020 with it during the
Yeah.
pandemic. Had
Yeah.
to buy a couple of crappy knockoff camcorders before I bought a legitimate one.
Yeah.
And
No,
then,
that's part of the process, man.
yep, ended up growing the page, and just things have just been moving from there. And and people see it. The
Yeah.
people who love it see it, the people who hate it see it, and
Yeah.
everyone who hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always more potential to grow and do more.
Oh,
Like we are given a blank canvas with life and we can paint whatever we want on it, right? So we just have to learn how to capitalize on our skill sets and then sharpen them, or even branch out and learn other skill sets that we don't necessarily need. But there's just a beauty behind having the determination to learn something and do something new and then apply what you're passionate about into these things, it's an unstoppable force.
Absolutely. And especially with learning, like you never stop learning no matter how
Right.
old you are. Like there's still stuff I can learn with video and editing and stuff like that. I haven't
Absolutely.
even scratched the surface yet. Any of
Yeah.
the
Right.
stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something I'm constantly telling the guys I work with is just, be a sponge. Be a sponge, absorb all the information around you at all times. There's so much to learn within every interaction we have, and we may not notice it in the moment, but everything does happen for a reason, right? It's like it's the snowball effect, right? It starts off small and it grows as you go on. Just continue to be a sponge and take in information from all angles and learn from people and teach people. It's just we can do so much more. I'm going to keep saying it. We can do so much more as humans, right? And all that it takes is just genuine love.
Oh
you
yeah.
know i'm i'm constantly having conversations with the people around me and just how we can let go of the hatred we hold in our hearts, and how we can learn how to unconditionally love people. And that's what's holding us back as a society, and so that's what I want to help teach people with PRTW is how to love, and how to let go of animosity and how to release these bad feelings we have in our heart for usually no reason at all. It's just stuff. We're petty, we're human, it's part of life, but how do we learn how to let go of that, right? And then how do we learn how to accept others' differences and you know, there's so much variety, right? There's just so much difference in the world, and it's like there's so many people who aren't willing to accept that. And that's a bad thing. We'll never progress if we're constantly regressing, if we're constantly taking steps backwards, right? So there's a lot of different goals I have for PRTW, and if I'm honest, I don't know which specific way I want to go, right? But the big audacious goal is world peace, and that's something that I'll never see in my lifetime, and we'll never see in our lifetime, but start a generational movement, so that people can carry this on and continue it on for their lives, my children, my grandchildren, and just have it be a growing thing, and I don't know if we'll ever reach a point of world peace, but if we could start something, that's what would make me happy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And we just had MLK Day a couple days ago. They say
Yeah,
darkness can't drive out darkness. Only
right.
light can do that. Hate can't drive
Absolutely.
out hate. Only love can do that. And it's
Absolutely.
really sad how divided we are these days. Like on
Absolutely.
racial lines, political lines, everything in between. It's like
Yeah.
find one little thing and all of a sudden it's I can't stand you. I don't want to be around you anymore. Go
Right.
away. It's it's
Absolutely.
it's sad, man. We're supposed to
Yeah,
love each other.
exactly. And what it all stems from is just a lack of understanding. Nobody wants to take time to understand the other person. We're born into core beliefs and values that stick with us forever, and we're always the right party. We're always correct in our own minds, and nobody's willing to think about the other person's perspective. So again, it goes back to how do we let go of that pride and that hatred, and how do we learn how to unconditionally love? That's the question that I'm constantly asking myself, and I'm constantly asking those around me, and constantly asking everybody, how do we learn how to love?
No
So
easy answer.
positivity, right? And positivity runs the world is that as a vessel, to get us to spreading that love and to asking those people around the world, how do we learn how to love? Everybody's going to have a different answer, but if you're answering the question, that's the goal, right? That's the main point, because that's right for you and that'll work for you, so maybe it'll help somebody else. It's just, let's teach each other how to love. Let's just love each other. Let's just relax. Everybody's so tight and stressed all the time. Like, let's just
Yes.
take a step back and just
Yes.
relax and take some breaths.
Yes. Not everyone is out to get you. Not everyone
Right.
can't be trusted. There are some shady people out there, but not
Oh,
everyone
absolutely.
is like that. Like
Right.
Mr. Rogers, the quote from Fred Rogers: look for the helpers.
Right.
Not everyone's a snake in the grass. I mean,
Right. Absolutely.
I forget what I was going to say here, but there's a lot of people who are dogmatic and set in their ways. And we're in a dogmatic society where
Hmm.
anything that challenges it is seen as a threat to them,
Right.
to the point where they'll just go nutty over it, over some so small.
Right. And yeah, and that's always the stem is just the most small, inconvenient thing that we just let eat our inside. It just rots our heart, and we just can't seem to let go of it. It's it's just it's envy. That's what it comes from. It's all derived from jealousy and from just a hatred that everybody's born with, but it's learning how to move past that and let go of that animosity.
Yes, it's like we see everyone as ops these days.
Right. Yeah, right.
Everyone's a rival. Everyone's out to get you and all this. And I noticed that you said you thought about this coming up to your senior year of high school.
Yeah.
How big of a role did the pandemic, if any, help you to inspire that? Because I know during the pandemic is where that there was a lot of that you saw with the
Yeah.
COVID mask debate, the protests with the George Floyd murder, and
Yeah.
everything else.
I mean, the pandemic, it really opened my eyes to what real division in the world looked like, because that was such a time where that tension was realer than ever, right? There were so many horrible things happening and so many people were hurt, and everybody was acting out of a place of hurt, and it seemed like nobody wanted to take a step back and try to understand each other. Politics is like one of the worst things that we have because it's constant of butting heads. We're constantly fighting against the people that we live in the same country as just because they're a different political party. That is just the silliest thing I've ever heard of. We're all one nation. Well, then you put that into a bigger scale. We're all one world. We're all one people, but we're warring with other countries. Why? It's and that's what opened my eyes was just, you start with friendships, and you have your problems within friendships, right? You guys butt heads and whatever. Then you upscale it. You start with states that are rivals, and you have nations that are rivals, and now we have religions and whole groups of people that are. It's just constant rivalries. And the pandemic really opened my eyes to that, and everything that was going on that year was a really eye-opening year for me. So that's where a lot of the inspiration came from. It's like I want to start something that's opposite. It's the opposite of that. It's like, all right, let's talk about love. Let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about prioritizing yourself and being able to be the bigger person and being able to spread a good message. Let's talk about something that nobody is talking about right now.
Yeah.
So that was an eye-opening moment for me.
Okay.
Um, so that's a very good question.
Yeah. Thank you for your answer. And
Yeah.
yeah. And you say you went to Field High School. How was your experience at Field?
Good. Yeah. So I actually had gone to St. Thomas Aquinas in Louisville up to my halfway through my junior year, and then I transferred to Field. Field was a great school. Very small, quiet. Wasn't a lot that went on. We just were all kind of in our own paths, doing our own things, and I had a good time there. The support system for starting a business was absolutely fantastic. All of my friends were great. They did nothing but support me the whole time, which was amazing. And now Chris and Caleb, the two guys I work with, are right here next to me almost every day. So they've been there since I started the business, and now they're working directly with me and helping me progress, and we're helping them progress as well. It's a great thing, and I'm happy I made those connections at that school. A lot of PRTW wouldn't be what it is without going to that school and that community that's built me up.
Oh yeah. So you could say that they helped you soar in a way because Field's nickname is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Falcons.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I know of Chris's photo work. Chris played football, and
Yeah,
Caleb played football, basketball, baseball.
yeah,
They had a great run in the state tournament last year. Went to regional semis.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a very supportive. They do support people really well there down in.
Absolutely, yeah, it feels like it's nothing but love out of field community.
Oh,
It's been a very pleasant experience just being a part of it and being able to give back to the community, like in our back to school drive. It's a very beautiful thing. I'm happy to be a part of it. Blessed to be a part of it.
It's awesome, man. That's really
Yeah.
awesome. And especially in these days when we got, with all the divisiveness in the world, let's have UNITY.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
And talk about, I know that you posted about the mental health minute. You've had several people come on board from the area.
Yeah.
Break that down to the audience who's probably listening.
Yeah. So it's actually Mental Health Monday. That was curated completely by Caleb Gardner. It was his idea. We come up here and we spitball at each other for a couple hours every night. And Caleb's like, we need to be posting something that's about mental health. He's like, well, what about Mental Health Monday? And it stuck. And so we filmed two of them that night. And ever since then, we've been trying to sharpen our skill sets in front of the camera. I personally am not the best talker in front of a camera. So constantly working on that. And we figured we branch it out into other local or small businesses around us. So we had Aisley Herndon on here, who was absolutely amazing. She did a great job, and she's also a big photographer in the area. So having other people with their own experiences come in and be able to talk to our audiences is just as important as us putting our opinions out there as well. So, yeah, Mental Health Mondays, it's going to be our weekly installment. Every Monday around 6, 7 a.m., we'll have a new one out. It's about a new topic of well being. And that'll vary from things like anxiety and things like brain chemicals like serotonin and dopamine to just dealing with your day to day stress. It's trying to capture everything that encompasses mental health or well being, day to day well being. That's the goal.
Nice. And especially in this day and age, mental health it still needs to be more of a priority, but it's great that it's a higher priority than it was in the past. I
Hmm.
even had
Absolutely.
a former guest of mine on episode 2 of this podcast way back in last year. He does wellness check Wednesdays, and
Oh,
he's
yeah, that's
a
cool.
mental health advocate as well. And I know there have been athletes who've opened up about their mental health struggles, and some have even stepped away from the game they love to focus on their mental health. Back in my day, at least, you would have thought, oh no, they can't handle the heat. Maybe they shouldn't be playing sports. But now
Right.
it's, hey, put yourself first. This'll be here. You are important. It's
Right.
just a game. This'll be here when you are ready. And if you don't
Absolutely.
come back, it is what it is. We still care about you. Like Ricky Rubio, is a great example of this. Cavs player
Yeah.
stepped away to focus on his mental health.
Yeah.
And Kevin Love, a big mental health advocate as well.
Yeah.
Former
Absolutely.
Cavs player. And hopefully, if the Cavs do win it all, they have to give Rubio a ring. Just
Yeah.
because Rubio's just been a great guy in general.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
yeah. And what are the plans moving forward? I know you said you had the clothing, and
Yeah.
what are the plans moving forward down the line? I know we
Tony,
just talked about world peace, but I know
yeah.
probably
No,
gonna.
yeah,
Uh,
that's the question, Tony. That's what we're constantly trying to figure out. It's we have no clue. Chris and Caleb were just up here last night, just thinking, what's next? What can we do that's going to have a genuine impact on the world, right? We can continue to put out clothes, we can continue to put out hoodies, t-shirts, all that stuff. But what can we do that's actually going to make an impact on the world? That's the answer we're looking for. And if anybody out there has an answer, please feel free to give it to me because it's tough, like when you're talking about making a genuine impact on people, how do you do that? Especially when you're dealing with a smaller audience, it's like it's harder to reach people when you're not out in front of them. So we definitely want to start getting out in front of people. Chris threw the idea out of going to food shelters and saying, hey, we're going to be at this food shelter this day, come and help us do some service work. I absolutely love that idea, so we're probably going to start installing that early February. um, we're going to put some new shirts out here very soon. I'm actually wearing one of them now. This is another logo that's designed by Chris Gressman himself. He came up with it. He proposed the idea. I absolutely loved it. So that's in the pipeline. But further than that, I don't know. And that's kind of the beautiful thing about it is we just get to do what we want, and let the ideas come to us. You know, the best ideas come when you're not looking for them. The best things in life come when you're not looking for them. Just being patient and letting the ideas come to us. That's something that I am very passionate about, and I believe in very strongly. Is like, if it's meant to be, it'll be. You know, if it's going to happen, it'll happen. It just takes some time.
Yeah.
So as far as future plans go, I don't have a definitive answer for you, but we'll figure it out. You know, that's what I can tell you, is that we will definitely figure it out.
I think that's the best answer I've received, honestly.
Yeah,
That's the best
yeah,
answer. You don't have to have it all figured out, and
right.
it's what I really think is just awesome about you guys' generation. Like, you guys are out there, like, being helpers. You guys are out there showing that you care
Yeah,
about the world. You care about other people. You're talking about mental health. You're having these discussions, and you want to make that impact.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's really dope, man. And I gotta give you my goes out to you, man.
yeah. I appreciate it. You know, it's like anybody can do it. You know, it's like nothing that I've done or that we've done has been something that anybody else couldn't do. You know, it's just about letting go of the fear. You know, people are scared to start something when you have no idea what you're doing. That's what it is. Once you let go of that fear and you just go for it, nothing can stop you. You
Oh
know, just 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 do it. You know, it's like Nike. You know, just do it, man. You know, you
yeah.
just got to go out there and apply yourself, and like I said, continue to learn. You know, it's not very hard to open up when it's genuine. It's not hard to talk to people when you have pure intentions. Um, so just check yourself. You know, what are you doing in life? Are you happy with what you're doing? Do
Yeah.
you have good goals set? Are your goals set for monetarily? Are they set for your mental health? Are they physical goals? Whatever it may be. You
Mhm.
know, just constantly check yourself and remind yourself what's important in life. You know, when we die, we die with memories. We don't die with the items that we have collected over the years. We don't die with the money that we have. We die with the memories and the love that we gave. You know,
Yes.
when positivity runs the world is done, I want to be remembered as a group that was starting and bringing a change. I don't want to be a group that was remembered as um, they had nice hoodies, they sold out their hoodies, they, you know, whatever it is, that doesn't matter. You know, I want to be remembered as a group that was bringing change to the world.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely, man. And some people will say, "Well, what if I fail? What if I'm not good?" Well, you won't know unless you try. They should
Right,
be asking themselves instead, "What if I
right,
succeed? What if this was God's plan in my life all along?
absolutely,
What if even if I'm not as successful, I just plug away? Sometimes you just got to keep plugging away.
right,
You'll have doubters. You'll have people who will ridicule. You'll not be successful in your first try, but
right.
as long as you stay the course, the success is gonna come.
Right, absolutely. You know,
Yeah.
we still see failure all the time. You know, we're constantly dealing with adversities in the business. You know, we will have plans set, things go wrong. It happens in every stage of life, in every stage of business. We're gonna see that forever. You know, it's about how you come back from it. It's about how you pivot. You have to be able to pivot away from the bad things that happen and adjust and make it the best that you possibly can. Excuse me. But it's just all about, you know, learning from your failures. Failing is a beautiful thing because it teaches us the most valuable lessons. You know, I've learned so much from my failures. I've lost a lot of money from it, but the lessons that I've learned from my failures are way more valuable than any dollar amount.
Absolutely. Like we said, it's not about the money, it's about the impact and the value.
100%.
Joseph, thank you for coming on to Tapped In with Tony. And
Absolutely. Thank you for having me,
before we
Tony.
leave, where can people find your stuff at? Where can the audience
Yeah.
find your stuff?
So you can go to our Instagram. It's Positivity Runs the World, or we have a website, which is www.positivityrunstheworld.com. For our day-to-day updates and everything like that, the Instagram will be the best place for buying clothes and things of those nature. You can sign up for a mailing list. That'll all be on the website. So just look up Positivity Runs the World and you'll find it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thank you, man. And
Yeah,
don't forget to check out Tapped In with Tony on Spotify and Apple and wherever you get your podcast. And You follow me. You can follow on Instagram at created_by_Tony and on Twitter at tbogues2010, where I mainly post sports highlights and occasional sports takes too.
Yeah, there we go.
So thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a good night or morning wherever you are.
Thank you, Tony.